and gentlemen, it is now time for a very special address, and for that, I'd like to invite on stage Mr. A Chowdary, Chairman and Founder, International Startup Foundation, and former Special Secretary, IT Government of Andhra Pradesh. I'd also like to speak a little about him, sir, as we invite you. He's an extremely distinguished ecosystem builder, entrepreneur, and technology leader who founded STPI, revolutionizing the nation's software export sector. Really committed to technology education, he established IIIT Hyderabad and IIDT Tirupati, and also spearheaded many initiatives like FinTech Valley and Vizag. Over to you, sir.
Good evening. I really want to thank Outlook for inviting me for this great conference at the right time. We are passing through a great transition time. In Telugu, we call Sandhikalamu, but why it's a transition time? I have seen myself, I experienced myself. When I was a STPA director in Bangalore, there were not of any activities in Bangalore because so many restrictions were there for NRIs who wants to build any software development companies in Bangalore. Everybody was doing the so-called body shopping. People used to go and shop in IITs and all that, recruit them and send them to America to some customer. That was the kind of software export industry we had that kind of a legacy. Why? Because there's no infrastructure for them to really bring the business and develop that in India. In fact, when I was there in Texas State recently, I acknowledged this to some of the mayors who met me. In fact, I would like to recognize one person, one gentleman who did a lot for my meetings and all that in Dallas and entire Texas State, Mahesh Nandyala. Can you stand up? Yeah. So I mentioned to all the people, mayors and other government officials of the Texas State, India owes a lot to the state of Texas. Then they said, how come Texas State is responsible for your growth and for the economic activities? Then I told them, I was in Department of Electronics in New Delhi during the peak license Raj. Those days, me and my colleagues, we were mandated to reject the files. If somebody sends a file for importing some computer or any proposal like that, so we will build a file. We used to write all the thing in the note sheets. So each one of us were supposed to build a case, finally said it is not recommended for any approval. Many NRIs, many people, technocrats, they used to come and sit in the corridors of government, in Department of Electronics, I am telling, in Khan Market, in Loknaik Bhavan. So during that time, what happened, there was a proposal came from Texas Instruments from US. They came to India. They said, we have plans to have a development center here. The reason being because we have tasted the quality of Indian engineers working for us who came from IIT Madras and so many Ivy League schools in India. Now we want to actually expand our operations. We know what Indian employees, particularly from those institutions, can do for us. Not only the cost arbitrage on one side, but they were looking at how quickly they can build a product. Because in US or any company, time to market is very important. Suppose the same chip design, some other competing companies are developing, they have to release this at least 2 quarters before. Otherwise, they'll be out of business. In fact, we faced that problem. When we started a company called Portal Player. We took the company public in NASDAQ and all that happened. 1 quarter we missed. We were supposed to release that chip in that quarter. There was some bug. We sent that chip for TSMC Taiwan for fabrication. They found a couple of bugs. By the time we received it and we started reworking on that, we missed that quarter. That enabled or forced us in the chip design or any product company, unless you have deep pockets, you will not be able to manage. Then we started looking for who can acquire us. Fortunately, NVIDIA Graphics, they came and acquired us for $357 million. They asked me to be managing director for India. So the reason why I'm telling why this Texas Instruments wants to come to India, because they don't want to lose. The time to market is very important for any product company. That's what they said. So we want to develop, we set up the development center here, but unfortunately, the way your rules are right now, you are taking 8 months or 9 months or 1 year sometimes for getting the license, import license. Even for exporting from here, RBI has got a lot of restrictions. This thing, with that, we will not be able to compete. So unless you bring all these reforms, then only we will think of setting up a development center. The other request they mentioned today, there is no internet, there is no high-speed links in India. We want one connection, high-speed link from wherever we select, whichever city, from India to our headquarters in US, so that these people can work 24/7. US, when they work during the daytime, then during the night time for US is the daytime for India. We get another 12 hours of time apart from many people joining our Indian entity. Like that, they gave the explanation. So they also mentioned we have one more option. I think Ireland was their second option in case if India is not able to meet their requests. Then thanks to the then government, I think Rajiv Gandhi was the Prime Minister during that time, and on all the bureaucracy also, they got together. It's a golden opportunity for India because we have a lot of people. When I was studying in IIT Madras, all my classmates went to America because no jobs at that time. I got a job in ISRO. I stayed back in India, but otherwise, except BRC, maybe ISRO, maybe 2-3 companies where IITians can think of working. All of them is to, that so-called brain drain is to happen. So they realize the potential what India has, and if only we enable, they try to get all the powers because every ministry, Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Revenue, Ministry of Science and Technology, all of them, they had those powers. They were not willing to give away these powers. Then fortunately, because Prime Minister was at it and the Cabinet Secretary was also very keen that this should happen, then finally they agreed, okay, we'll do a small pilot experiment. We will create one entity called Software Technology Parks of India, and we'll give all the powers to one person. Let us see for 1 year. If it is working well, we'll continue. Otherwise, we'll close that. TI may have to go some other country and all that. Because those days, they were very difficult to take any such bold decision. Everybody is afraid of taking any such bold decision. But somehow, our stars were good and they were able to take the decision. We will take this as a pilot. And they announced that, yes, for Texas Instruments alone, only for one company, we are creating this infrastructure only for you. You select the city where you want to set up. They selected Bangalore as their development center location. And there was internal circular in Department of Electronics. Whoever wants to head the Bangalore Software Technology Park, they can send their applications. Except me, there was no application. Because everybody has got so much power. Infosys, Narayanamurthy, Premji, all Bhiksha, FC Kohli, they were all used to sit in our corridors of power in reception and waiting area, and they used to enjoy that power. And whereas going to Bangalore, they don't know whether the STP, that also they know that it's only a temporary thing, again I have to come back. No applications went. I also was not knowing the potential. I applied because I belong to a place called Anantapur, which is close to Bangalore, so that I can see my parents every weekend and all that. That was my intent. Not that I visualized that the IT industry, software industry will become a multi-billion-dollar industry, nothing. But whatever that move, my move to Bangalore, sitting in the Texas Instrument office in Miller Road, Sona Towers, and all the power was with me, whether import license, export valuation, whatever it is. And we started that way in Bangalore. After seeing the success of Texas Instrument, all the MNC companies, whether the digital, Hewlett Packard, they want to come very close to where the Texas Instrument facility is located. Because there was a satellite earth station on top of the Texas Instruments building. In fact, while installing that earth station, we had to bring the entire equipment, the dish, everything on a bullock cart in Bangalore. That was the kind of infrastructure we had that time in Bangalore. Anyway, that was set up. Because of the satellite earth station, all these companies They all wanted to be in the Miller Road or Cunningham Road and all that, so that they can lay the optical fiber cable. And all those companies did very well. That's how Bangalore became the Silicon Valley of India, because they don't want to experiment in other cities. Though there are manpower available. For example, a lot of people from Telugu states, they used to come and work in Texas Instrument, and the Texas Instrument cannot take a decision to set up something in Hyderabad because the social infrastructure, the IT infrastructure was not available other than the Bangalore. So when we see why Infosys, Wipro, TCS, they could not take the advantage of STPA scheme. There are so many issues in the initial, because that was a pilot. And I'll tell you one incident. Once general elections were happening in India, and Karnataka also is part of it. And many employees of Texas Instruments in India, they started sending this party, somebody is contesting, and this party is likely to win, all kinds of this thing. So we had a mandate during that time. We had to monitor whatever bit or byte goes from India, Texas Instruments to US, and whatever comes. In fact, there was a big hall of this size. They kept it only to take the printouts and kept the printouts in that room. If there any inspection, they can go and check what all they sent it, what all they received. That kind of a strange restriction. So during the election time, my employee who was monitoring in that instrument this thing, he found all this. Then he immediately informed me. It was almost like the middle of the night. Sir, this is what I noticed. There is no technical information going up and down, but all this kind of information. So as a policy, whenever any such this thing, I had to report to the government, central government in Delhi. IB was part of our board, Intelligence Bureau. Sorry, this makes me that I am becoming old. I am 69 years old, so I keep telling if anybody meets me, sometimes I can't recognize when I met them. Then I give this, say, sorry, I'm becoming old. So anyway, so once we informed the Intelligence Bureau in Delhi, they sent all the IPS officers, and about 10 of them, they came. They grilled the Mike Watson III, was the India head for Texas Instruments. Poor fellow was grilled for 3-4 days, and they went through all the documents. Finally, there was nothing except the political news. They found nothing. During that time, I told my boss, Secretary, Department of Electronics, one Mr. Vittal. In fact, nobody is giving the real credit to him. Recently, he died in Chennai. He was the one who was one IAS officer. I was very fortunate to work with him. Any such cases, if I tell him, and this immediately he takes action, and the rule can be amended in the government. And I called him, sir, this is what happened, and they found nothing. But I told him, sir, what is this nonsensical rule? Why we have to monitor? Anybody who has got a modem and phone, they can scan any document and send it to anywhere, and they can also receive the faxes and all that. Are we monitoring those things? Yes, Chowdary, whatever you said is correct. He went to the cabinet secretary, and finally that rule was removed. Like that, there are many issues in the STPA, because that was a kind of an experiment in India. The other big problem, Texas Instrument used to pay 40 lakhs for 64 kbps link. 64 kbps, that too from Bangalore to Intelsat and back. The other half again he has to pay to maybe Intelsat. So at that cost, it is unviable for any domestic or Indian entrepreneurs to have development center. It is very costly. For 64 kbps, I don't know how much we are getting on our mobile phones now. What bandwidth? Unlimited, I think. Right? And what we are paying? Nothing. Whereas those days, for just a 64 kbps bandwidth, paying 40 lakhs per month. And they invested entire money, capital cost also came from them, and in spite of that, it was so costly for them. Because of that, neither Narayan Murthy or Premji could venture into the, because it was so costly. That also we posed to our secretary, Mr. Vittal sir. This way, we can't help our local industry who wants to set up the development center. Then what to do? He said, sir, we should go and talk to VSNL CMD and reduce the. Then obviously he called VSNL CMD, one Mr. Sangal, to Delhi, and he told that why don't you have a different fare for the software industry? No, sir, it's not economically viable. Ours is not a government, ours is a public sector, this thing. I don't think our board will approve. So it was not happening. Then our secretary said, okay, hell with you. We will get the license to operate, and all STPIs, wherever we set up, they will have satellite, we will import the satellite earth station, and we will give at 1/10 or 1/100th of the, initially that was so low to encourage the software industry to set up the development center. That was another important step in the history of IT industry in India. During that time, I mean, everybody, including Infosys, TCS, Wipro, they all wanted to set up. Then I went to the Karnataka government asking for a land so that we can set up the technology parks, all these local companies. I requested somewhere in the Kormangala area, because it's a part of the city, and they asked me, what is the reason why you are asking in Kormangala? We will give it some industrial area. No, sir, when US wakes up, we are all sleeping, and when we are sleeping there, so there will be a lot of problems for the women employees working during the night time, because our night time we have to work for their customers, which is the daytime for them, and transporting them is going to be a big issue. It is outside the city and all that. But still they were not convinced. They finally allocated the land in Electronic City. That time there is no proper road also for Electronic City. When we inaugurated MGK Menon, he was the Minister for Science and Technology, inaugurated the STP in Electronic City. After the inauguration, Infosys Narayan Murthy several times, Mr. Chowdary, what you have done, you have taken land somewhere, nook and corner place in Electronic City, there is no proper road, our employees are complaining that they are getting into accidents and all that. Sir, we don't have any this thing. The central government will give all your import licenses, all that, this thing is our. We are not in, we don't have land in Karnataka. Wherever Karnataka government gives the land, we have to set it up. Finally, I mean, after so many years, infrastructure got improved, and now that has become an IT hub. So during that experimental phase, from Prime Minister's office, some IAS officers, secretaries, they used to come and monitor what's happening. So one of the such senior officers was one Mr. B.N. Yugandhar. He is AP State Cadre Officer, but he was working in the Prime Minister's office as Secretary. And he said, everything is going well, Mr. Chowdary. You belong to Hyderabad. You are a Telugu person. Nothing is happening in Hyderabad. Why don't you, at least start activities in Hyderabad? B.N. Yugandhar is actually father of Satya Nadella, our Microsoft CEO. Then I told him, sir, I am willing to do that, but there is no STPI, there is nothing, no internet in Hyderabad, not even a single company in Hyderabad. No, I will talk to your boss and he will enable all that. So finally, they sanctioned STPI for Hyderabad. So I came to Hyderabad. I thought I can do something here. Then I went around the entire city, not even one good looking building which can be meant for IT activities or this thing, for technology park. Fortunately, I found one building in Amirpet area, Huda Maitrivanam. I selected that whole building except the ground floor and first floor, which were some commercial activities were there. The remaining floors I have taken. Then after 6 months, my finance secretary, the joint secretary finance, sent a very strong email to me. What is that you are doing, Mr. Chowdary? You are paying dead rentals. If it were to be a private building, you would have been suspended. So better you release all the floors, because I know that Hyderabad can never get any software exporting companies. Then at one point of time, decided to go back and close STPI Hyderabad. Then I went to state government. That time, Nedurmalli Janardhan Reddy was the chief minister, and Shankaran was the cabinet secretary. I did not meet the Chief Minister, but I met Cabinet Secretary. Sir, this is a wonderful opportunity for Hyderabad to get this software technology park. Through that, a lot of employees will. They were not able to understand the real potential. But tell me, what do you need? Sir, we need earth station, satellite earth station, so that I can provide the internet connection. There was no internet in Hyderabad. And without internet, how do export-oriented company can set up operations here? So finally they said, okay, we'll give you the loan for setting up the satellite earth station and also land free of cost. Then I went to Department of Electronics and got the satellite earth station sanctioned. And that is the beginning of IT activities in Hyderabad. That happened way back in 1992. We got the satellite earth station and we started. When I gave the internet beam to the Maitrivanam, there were no takers. Nobody was taking internet. No, we don't require. Then I said, I'm giving free of cost for 6 months. You see whether you can use this internet. Slowly people started using that internet. But again, they were not in that export business. Many of them, they're all domestic IT services companies. Then first wave happened when NRIs from Telugu states, they started looking the potential. They all came and they established their development center in Maitrivanam. In fact, Maitrivanam became India's first successful incubator. There were 23, thank you. Can somebody get me a glass of water? Those 23 companies in Maitrivanam, all of them, I mean, either they got acquired by big MNC companies or they got listed in New York Stock Exchange or got listed in Bombay Stock Exchange. And nobody is talking about the first successful incubator in the country. That is Maitrivanam in Amirpet. Before I proceed on this journey, how much time I have? It says 7 minutes. So I have to close by 7 minutes. Who are the organizers? So that I can cut short. Huh? Take your time. Thank you so much. Because the story is very long. Otherwise, some people may sleep here. If I anyway, that's a very interesting journey. That's the reason why I want to tell what happened and what is happening now and what is going to happen. Right? So, because of the internet, the first NRI companies, great success, but no MNC company was coming here. And I used to go to Bombay. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. You realize that I'm an old person. I need this. And keep that water bottle or something here. Thank you so much. So, but none of the big companies were, including our Indian MNCs, were not coming here. I used to ask them, why you are not able to, JA, the senior manpower is required for us to have a development center. None of your own Telugu people, they don't want to come to Hyderabad. So without them, I mean, we cannot set up a development center. Same case with MNC companies also. So I used to take one sales bag and go around. Once we went to SEEPS, Mumbai, all the Ban, City Corp, all these MNC companies were there in Mumbai. 2 days we stayed along with the secretary. That time there was no secretary IT. Secretary Industries, Sheila Bedi, myself, and APIC MD Jayaprakash Narayan. We all went there, camped in this thing. Like a sales team, LIC agent, they go around and try to get business, right? Insurance agents and all that. Similarly, we were like, insurance agents trying to get some business for Hyderabad. So we convinced them, and they were asking some questions. No, you're telling that Bombay, Bangalore traffic problems are there, but what happens in Hyderabad? So many companies are going to come, then traffic problems will be there. No. Our Chandrababu Naidu is a visionary, is already planned. I was not knowing about any of those things, but in Telugu they say, Veyi Apaddalu Cheppena oka pelli cheyachani. That means even by telling 1,000 lies, if you are trying to get marriage done, that was the old, I don't know whether that formula works now. So I used to tell, and they used to come to Hyderabad. That time Intergraph, they set up the operations opposite to Begumpet Airport. That was the only building worth looking as like an IT building. Before I used to take these people who comes from different cities and different countries. I used to tell Intergraph MD, India MD, look, I am bringing some people. You have to tell all good things about Hyderabad. So I used to, take these people, and because I'm forcing them to talk all positive things and all that. That's how we started the journey, and eventually today it is giving opportunities to millions of people. Those days in Jubilee Hills, they were selling in acres because there is no demand, there is no consumerism. Though pharma companies were there, their salaries were very low. Whereas IT employees' salaries were very, very high. They had disposable income. They started buying cars, buying flats, buying all those things. That's why the whole economic activities today, real estate industry, they have to thank the IT industry. Without IT industry in Hyderabad, I don't think any real estate companies can survive. So with all that, when there was nothing in Hyderabad, I have seen myself how Hyderabad became today Cyberabad and all these things. My worry is today, whenever I go through this high-tech city and financial district, I feel very happy that millions of employees, families are benefited because of the foundation we laid. But when I went to US and interacted with a lot of CEOs, CTOs, they all told me, Jay, mark my word, the tsunami is coming, generative AI, and using generative AI, nobody need to write any code, and testing jobs are all the rudimentary IT services. First, they'll be impacted. Later on, even other complex problems also, because they are coming with new tools. In every vertical, these generative AI company owners, they are coming out with the new versions next year, and all that. With that, I don't know how many companies will survive who are in these services. And there was a report in Business Standard that in India, in the first 2 years, there will be at least minimum 1 million people will be out of jobs. And in addition to that, they said, today, because of IT, all the private engineering colleges, private universities, because nobody wants any civil or mechanical or metallurgy or aeronautics, all IT, computer science, AML, and whatever it is, they're all IT. Today, in fact, one gentleman, he's still heading Wipro for US. He told in his keynote that in US this year, if somebody applies for any job from Ivy League universities like Penn State, Purdue and all that thing, no internship, no job. And somebody applies from mechanical, civil or aeronautics, immediately they're taking them because the prompt engineering is easy for domain experts, whereas computer science is only a tool, a screwdriver technology. So that's not going to work. So when Ivy League students from America, if they are not able to get jobs, what will happen to all the engineering colleges, even computer science also, many engineering colleges, very rudimentary knowledge they are giving to the students. How millions of people, how they are going to get jobs? On one side, we are removing the existing employees because of the whatever automation. And the other side, the youth are not going to get any new job. For India, with 1.5 billion population, very densely populated country, if there are no jobs, if all these people come onto the roads, some opposition political parties, they will take advantage, Rasta Roko, Rail Roko, and whatever dharnas because of the government and all this unemployed youth, you are responsible and all that. With that, what happens? The MNC companies also, they will also, why all this headache? Now salaries, we started with the cost arbitrage. There is no cost arbitrage now. Our salaries in India is almost equivalent to salaries in Vietnam, Philippines and all that. So why all these headaches and these people making the dharnas? If they start moving, what will happen to the IT metropolitan cities like Hyderabad, Bangalore, Pune, wherever IT people are more? And also for India. Today we are enjoying that we have crossed a $3 trillion economy. Mostly it's IT driven. Because IT created opportunities to increase the consumerism. Those days, anybody, even cities, to buy a TV was so difficult. They had to think 10 times. And villages, no question. Nobody had any telephone and all that. Today, everybody, you go to any remotest place, they are buying computers, they are buying smartphones. I'll tell you the smartphone example. During COVID time, I stayed in my village. One day we went to a nearby temple. after completing all the rituals, we were coming out, and I was about to get into my car. And all the beggars were coming, sir, we need some money. I looked at my purse, all big notes were there. I told them, sorry, I don't have change. Then we were about to start. Then one young beggar, he came running, sir, I have GPay. Can you pay me in GPay? I don't have GPay, but that young beggar has got a smartphone and he operates on GPay. So that is the India's adoption of digital technology. But that's also a problem, right? When all these people, they're aspiring for a job. When he's got so much of knowledge, he's thinking that he'll get a reasonably good job. When the jobs are not there, see the chaos. So that's when I thought we have to create new jobs. How do we create new jobs? Then I started this foundation called India Startup Foundation. Why I started is, the startup companies in India, they're growing. In fact, now we are world's number 3 in terms of the number of startups, number of unicorns we are producing. I thought this is the vehicle for us to create new jobs. When old jobs are going down, we have to create new jobs. In fact, every citizen, whoever is sitting here, you have to think through, as a citizen of this great nation, how is that I can create new jobs? Job creation is the fundamental thing for India's growth, for any country for that matter. So particularly India at this Sandhikalam, transition time, when the old jobs are going and people are not eligible for the new jobs, what is that we can do? So startups, why I picked up startups is, most of the startup founders, they want to solve a problem and they want to use either today's technologies or tomorrow's technologies. So if they become unicorn, first of all, they're giving a lot of taxes to the government, plus they're creating jobs. If only we create one Apple, one Microsoft, or one NVIDIA, $3 trillion market cap for NVIDIA, right? So they can take care of the complete defense budget and whatever, welfare and all that. So we need to create more such unicorns from India, and they will create new opportunities. In fact, I feel the generative AI, whatever is happening, is a blessing in disguise. Because when I was in STPI, I used to tell Ramlingaraju and all those people who are coming to my office, hey, why don't you start some product companies, services, it may not be, you continue your services, but also invest in products. No, Chowdary Garu, startup is very difficult process for us. We did one experiment, Vision Campus or something like that, but somehow it did not take off, whereas this service is very easy. That is the kind of mindset was there in all the Indian IT companies. That's when I had an opportunity to create the first silicon chip startup in Hyderabad. That's called Portal Player. I was the co-founder of the Portal Player, and we used to design the silicon chips which went into Apple's iPod, and we took the company public in NASDAQ, and we sold that company to NVIDIA. So during that, when I started that company in Jubilee Hills, Prashasan Nagar, we were not getting any employees who are having the knowledge in digital technologies, VLSI design, front-end, back-end designers. None of them are coming to, at one point of time, I thought of shifting my Hyderabad facility to Bangalore, because Bangalore had a lot of VLSI design engineers. But I thought, no, I am in Hyderabad, let me do one experiment. So I recruited people from local engineering colleges, sent all of them to our US office for 6 months training. Then they all came, and they were the architects of the core silicon chip which went into the Apple's iPod. So they are not from any Ivy League schools. They are not from IITs. They are not from this thing. Ordinary engineering colleges, because of the kind of training and the kind of environment, they were able to produce one of the complex chips which went into Apple iPod. In fact, that tells me another important thing. The ecosystem, a lot of people, they think that by building a 5-star AA class building will enable the startups and all that. When I visited Israel about 6 years back, I visited most of the incubators in Tel Aviv and so many other places. Many incubators, not even lift was functioning, and I went up to the first floor, second floor and all that. Infrastructure was very ordinary infrastructure, worse than our typical government infrastructure. Then I asked the promoters of that incubators, how come you're able to get all the great startups from different countries and they're becoming unicorn, decacorns and all that? Then he laughed at me. Jay, we don't concentrate on the physical infrastructure. We take care of the intellectual infrastructure. We get them a lot of mentors. This thing, every week there will be meetup events. We get investors. So I'm getting a signal that I have to close. I'll close shortly in another 1 minute. So today what is needed is we have to create excellent infrastructure for the startups. And we have n number of opportunities in rural India. Why I am telling rural India? In rural India, you go to any village or any tier 3 towns, there are a lot of problems. I'll tell you one problem. When I was doing agriculture in my village, welcome, sir. Sir, can I take 3 more minutes? Thank you. So, my third startup, after 2 successful startups, first startup, Portal Pair, got acquired by NVIDIA. Second startup acquired by National Stock Exchange. Third startup, I thought doing in my village, agriculture, organic products and all that. There I miserably failed. And this example I told in one of the startup conferences in Bangalore. See, my agri startup, I'm a miserable failure. Then they asked me, sir, why you failed in your agriculture startup? There is no labor. Government is giving all free money, and those people, if I ask them to come and work in my, no, we don't have time. And some people used to come and they used to demand all kinds of things, chicken biryani, some people even wine and beer and all that. I don't think I can do agriculture with that kind of this thing. Without labor, I can't serve. So I started donating that land, and that's what I told in that conference in Bangalore, startup. One gentleman stood up, sir, I will give you a solution. Give me 8 months' time. I'll build a robo, low-cost robo, and it will do kalupu mukkal kuda all the grass also, it weed and all that it will remove. Plus, it gives the this thing. Suppose there is a problem in a plant, immediately it will take a photograph, send it to the cloud, and from cloud a mini drone will carry that biopesticide, come to that precision agriculture basically. So all that I'll be able to demonstrate it to you. Hopefully he is coming for our ISF conference in September 26th, where he is going to demonstrate his robo, which can help all the agri farmers and all that. Why I am telling this example? This kind of problems are plenty in the rural area. See, today if any startup comes, sir, I'll build this app and all that, those days have gone. App-based startups is no business unless it's solving a real problem. So real problems are there in the rural India. If they are able to pick up those real problems, and there are many investors like our investment company, we can invest in them. So that is the golden opportunity today, that many problems are there in rural area. I am telling everybody, look at how you can identify the problem, and there are many investors are willing to invest in you, and you are also solving a perennial problem in the rural area. Now, labor is a big problem. If this startup company solves that problem, it's a great benefit for the rural India, particularly for agriculture farmers. So, with that, I have decided invite all the CEOs, investors from US, and I want to take them to the rural India. Tier 2, Tier 3 cities is the first time in the world a rural startup bus yatra we have taken up. Our Telangana rural, thank you. Our Telangana rural startup bus yatra will be starting in the month of December. Why December? All the NRIs from US, Europe, they have a free time during that time. They all want to come because some of them, they belong to Warangal, Nizamabad, Adilabad. They want to adapt and they want to create the rural jobs, and also rural startups. They want to become mentors for them. So that's the reason why in December we are going to have the rural startup bus yatra. First time in the world is driven by the industry, not by the government. We are not taking any 1 rupee also from the government. In fact, we are only requesting our Honorable Minister to come and flag up the buses, sir. Rest we will do it ourselves. We are interested in India not losing this advantage. So, I am asking all of you, because we need a lot of mentors. Startup companies without proper mentoring, they are nowhere. More than the money, You have to mentor them right direction. You have to give at least that much a small sacrifice. You give 1 hour a week. If you are interested in mentoring this thing, you donate that 1 hour a week. Then you stop going to temples like Tirumala temple. Why to put money in the hundi? The same money you give to a startup company. They will create more jobs. You will get more punyam. So that is a kind of formula that I am giving. And whoever wants to become mentors or volunteers, you please lift your hands. There is no mentor who wants to join? But this side I am not getting any signal. You don't want to participate in the India's growth? 1 hour a week you can't find? One cinema, new cinema, what is there? Kalki. Don't see Kalki. Whatever. I mean, you give that time for the startup company. So thank you. And before I leave, I started this India Startup Festival 2.5 years back. We ran several international startup conferences. And unlike other conferences, whichever startup gets selected during our process, we'll make sure that every Saturday, tomorrow I was telling madam that tomorrow Saturday, every Saturday, 8:30 to 9:30, that company will give 1 hour time. All the global leaders from across the globe, they listen to their pitches, and when they like that this thing, they are investing in those companies. More than the investment, they are connecting those companies for market. See, without market, even if you have a great product, you will not be able to survive. The market access is very, very important. So that's what successfully we have done. This organization, we don't have any employee till today. We have only volunteers, committed volunteers. And I want to request some of the volunteers are here. I request them to stand up. Sir, Minister Garu, today I am able to run this foundation because of all of them. They are not expecting any benefit from us, and they are giving their time. I don't know how they are managing their time. Every conference they manage, and I don't give any directions. I am giving the complete liberty, what to do, how to do, when to do, all that. They are doing extremely good job. I request all the others to give a standing ovation to them. We need more such volunteers in this country, and we can do wonders. With this, I once again thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity, and hopefully we will build a new India. Gandhi Mahatmadu, and he always thought about rural economy. That's the reason why this first bus yatra on October 2nd, Gandhi Jayanti, first one we are doing an experiment in Andhra Pradesh on 2nd of October. Honorable Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh is flagging off, and all the buses are going to all the districts in Andhra Pradesh. Similar kind of a thing, we want to do it in December for Telangana state. I request all of you to join this bus yatra, the rural bus yatra. It's an opportunity for you to really serve the nation and see that this nation crosses $100 trillion economy, and we will become, we will beat Silicon Valley, not in the IT services, in the startups. I am very optimistic, and it's going to happen. Thank you.